This is Rob Tubman for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. Delighted to be joined today by Al Siesta, looking very sharp and very cool in your sunglasses. Al, how are you?
I'm very well, man. Thank you. You're looking sharp as well. Looking neat and clean. Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm ready. I love the controversies, and I'm all to your disposal, my friend. How are you?
I'm very well. I'm not looking neat or clean at all, but people can't see my face on the camera, so it's absolutely fine. I'm well, mate. As you mentioned, I was just jumped straight into it. We've seen some interesting back and forths on social media the last 48 hours between, well, yourself, Eddie Hearn, Luther Clay, Chris Kongo, Dillian Whyte. Go back to the start. Tell me what's happened from your estimation.
Right. I tell whatever I'm saying is almost like in the house of court. We don't have Quran or Bible here, but all I'm saying, or what I will be saying right now, is an absolute truth. And follow that. And I've got good news at the end for everyone, including our beloved boxing fans. Right. Luther Clay was in camp for a couple of months. He was absolutely sharp in the beast of a mode, buzzing, ready to smash Chris. Then this thing, coronavirus, pandemic comes. Show got cancelled. He broke down in tears. I said, Luther, don't worry, he's not going away. He goes, I don't know, man. He's just like completely disheartened. He can get like juvenile sometimes. He's so pure, that kid. He's so pure, but he's very proud. So he was very upset. I said, don't worry, he's coming. So his mother works as a frontliner for NHS, as you know that. Despite that, they wanted to remove people of black race because seems to be this virus is very racist, picks on people with the darker skin. So say that's why Italians and Asians and black people seems to be more exposed than Nordics, like people in Baltics or Norway or Sweden. Virus seems to be can't touch them. It's a very interesting, possibly something to do with blood. And mom is healthy, thanks God and stuff. But Luther, about 3 weeks ago, saying I'm not feeling well. And that's also including the fact that he didn't have any camp and he couldn't train. He just was locked on the flat by himself, sending me stupid messages if I can help him to hire the garage and put the boxing equipment in there. I said, just come down, just wait. It only will take that much, that long, couple of weeks. It's all going to be fine. So he calls me saying, I'm not feeling that well. I've got temperature. And for him to give me a call, it's something very important. He should be really deteriorating if he's calling me. So I'm saying, what's the temperature? He goes, let me measure. So he measures the temperature and he sends me the picture. And I've got it. I can send it to you. It's 41.4. So I'm not panicking. I'm saying, look, is the thermometer okay? You sure? Could you remeasure that for me? So he remeasures it. It's 40.8. I'm saying call ambulance now, say to them that you've got severe symptoms of coronavirus. He goes, oh, you sure? I'm saying call them. He goes, but I'm fine. I can breathe fine. I just got a headache. I'm saying call them. So he calls ambulance and they say, have you got breathing difficulties? So they're running him through the symptoms. And he says, no, I just feel hot, feel weak. And my nose is blocked and I've got a headache. They said, okay, we will be observing you. Please call us if the condition will deteriorate. So they didn't want to come out. So he stayed at home. And that temperature stayed for 2 days. Then it started to subside to 39, 38.7. So 10 days he was not well at all. And I said, you know what, maybe it's good that you're not getting hospitalized, because you don't know what you're going to pick up at that ward. So try to recover, drink loads of liquid, go and get some aspirin, don't use paracetamol. Use a paracetamol, but don't use ibuprofen. Because I read that apparently there's something asthmatic could be causing whatever it is. So, long story short, it was kind of not devastating news. The great news, he recovered completely. He feels really good, but he has to self-isolate now, officially, NHS requested, because he had a cold and he had a temperature for 2 weeks. So he's got another 10 days of self-isolation. He can't go not to the gym, You understand? He can't go in contact with anybody. So that postponed his training and his well-being, not saying that he was demoralized mentally, that the show got pulled out. Pulled. So I made a decision in my head, which is not like me, but I said, I don't want him to fight. I spoke to the team, I spoke to the trainer, I spoke to the guys, and I said, guys, I want to pull Luth out of Kongo's fight. They're saying, why? I'm saying, man, he was ill. He needs proper camp. There's not enough time to the middle of July. Middle of July, like 6 weeks away. So we will not be able. I mean, look, bad enough he didn't have the camp, but he had illness now. So we need to be very careful to get him into the stride. So we need at least 8 weeks, at least. So, and no one's waiting. Let's pull him out and let's reschedule Kongo at the end of the year. And the guy's saying to me, Al, do you realize this shit is going to stir when you're going to announce that you're pulling Luth out? Fans going to be devastated and they're going to go ballistic. I said, I don't care, because fans not the ones who are going in the ring and fighting. Neither the managers or promoters. So I spoke to Luth. Luth goes, Al, I want to fight Kongo. I'm saying, yeah, but how are you going to do it? Because he goes, by in fairness, you're right. I need a camp again. And he lost. He was subconsciously looking for a kick. He goes, so speak to Eddie. Maybe we can go on Dillian's undercard. Dillian against Povetkin. That will be last show at the end of August, and it will be enough time to prepare. It's a really big stage. Plus, the big objective was, so Luther accepted that fight because it was Kelly Abanisian at the O2 with a massive crowd, massive viewing figures, and Russian television as well, apart from the Zone and Sky. So the only opportunity, similar opportunity, without the crowd, but with Russian TV present and figures being massive, is Dillian Whyte against Povetkin. So I texted Eddie and I said, Ed, is there any chance that Luther against Kongo can go on Povetkin Whyte undercut? He goes, oh, no chance, because first of all, I don't know what's happening yet. We're just finalizing the dates. Secondly, let's stick to the agreement, what we had originally. So I thought, okay, fair enough. I'm pulling Luther out. I'm thinking. So, and then obviously there's back and forth on Twitter. I tweeted, I said, I mean, I don't remember how it started. Oh, very important aspect. Suddenly, out of blue, I don't know how it's lit, Samu Kamucha appeared. Do you remember? Completely out of blue, so I start calling Luther Clay out, just in the middle of the kind of, not even negotiation. We had a fight. I don't know what possessed him. So he went to feed the beast, give me that panther and all that stuff. And I'm thinking, I'm just adding in my head. I'm thinking, right, Luther's not well. We don't have enough time to prepare for the Kongo's fight. But this Tamuka right now I paid. Maybe it's blessing in disguise. Maybe God sent me Tamuka now. Maybe we can schedule that fight instead and I'll pay for it. And I'll put it on one of my European shows. I'm thinking, that will be brilliant. I get Luther back to the stride. I mean, I've got no doubts he will win that fight. And then we're ready for Kongo. So I tried to convince Luther, and Luther saying, no, Tamuka won't take that fight. There's all bullshit, the social media hyping and all that stuff. So that's how tweets appeared. And the tweets were back and forth between Tamuka and Luther and myself. And then suddenly Chris Kongo chipped in, and the diversion went, and everyone went ballistic. It's escalating. So we started to get called coward. We started to say, oh, no one wants the smoke and all that stuff. But I know the truth. So I called Luth. No, it wasn't even like this. Luth goes, F it. I want to fight the guy. Just make the fight. Not Dillian Whyte's undercut. I don't care. It needs to be in August. I need a bit more time to prepare. I'm ready. Please make that fight. So I told Dillian, I text him, and I text Chris Kongo, and I called Nathan Kubuth, Baby Ting, Dean White. I called everyone, and I said, boys, we're on. We're going. Beginning of August. Please don't pull out. But now I tell you something very interesting that I observed very recently. Chris Kongo really couldn't believe his luck when he saw that Luther might pull out or there's circumstances that the fight might happen. I tell you why. He was in no man's land for a few years. No one wanted to fight him. He seems to didn't have much luck. His shows got cancelled. The fights got cancelled. He was going nowhere. Then suddenly Dillian picked him up. And Dillian has some sort of hold over Matchroom because obviously he's a big heavyweight. He's a very well-known figure. And Eddie would respect Dillian's opinion and wish, like he would do to Anthony Joshua's. So Dillian probably told him, I signed Kongo. Have you got a fight for him? And Ed thinking, who is the mug that I know that will accept any fight I ask? Well, Siesta. Let's call him. Let's see if he will fight his Luther Clay, the only guy he's got in the UK at the moment. Let's see. So Ed sent me 3 names, something like Lewis Taylor, Kongo, and something like Paddy Gallagher. But I saw through it. I know what's happening. So I knew Kongo is the target. So I spoke to Luth and we accepted that fight. So we were the ones who initially agreed to give Kongo a chance. We were the ones. Kongo didn't have a choice because the only person who would give him a fight on Matchroom Show on Sky and DAZN is Luther Clay. The only option he has is a trilogy with William Waddington. If there's no Luther, I'm telling you. So he thought, I don't want to fight Luther. This guy's hands full. I've got no choice, no option. And if I'll tell Dillian, oh, I need to go over fight and you need to build me up, you know Dillian is a barbarian. You're going to say, what? I'll give you the opportunity to fight on Sky Show. And you're telling me that you need takeover. And this Luther Clay, he's nobody. So I can imagine the conversation. So they hyped each other up, believed their own hype, and they were ready to go. But I've got bad news for Chris. The fight is on. It's happening the beginning of August. And I'm forcing it now upon Eddie Hearn. Ed, your 3rd show, the last one before Pavetkin White, please make that fight. We're ready to go. We're ready to go. I've been instructed by Luth. I've been instructed by the team. The fight is on. And don't you think to wiggle out of it, boys. Don't you think sending me text messages in the middle of the night saying that we're cowards. Funny, humor. But I don't think, you see, the problem is the intellectual capacity that Siesta boxing possesses in terms of understanding psychology behind the games and the fighting game is impeccable. So this is walk in the park for us. I know exactly what's happening. Even me mentioning McKinson and Paddy Gallagher caused exactly the reaction I needed to. Exactly the reaction I needed to. So we're there now. I am secure and I feel very confident that I won this fight. And I can imagine the psychology around this fight is reassuring. Let's say the least.
Okay, I'm just going to try and recap over some things that you've said. It was quite a long answer, so do forgive me if I can't quite remember. So you're ruling out a fight in July. Is what I've decided from that.
Ruling out fight in July because we don't have time. It's pretty much June, and Luth has to isolate for another 10 days. So we will be in the 2nd weeks of June. You need to have a camp, sparring partners. There's no legislation about sparring. I tell you what, after people heard now, possibly that Luth possibly had COVID because it hasn't been confirmed, but what else will it be for 10 days, the temperature? I don't think everyone will be overwhelmed from joy, jump and say, Luth, let's spar now. So he needs to quarantine. We will have the test in 2 weeks, confirm that he's clean of COVID-19, and that's it. We're ready to go. So that's why. This is the only reason why we need extra time to August. The only and the single reason. And boxing fans know for well, fighters need the camp, and the camp has to be at least 8 weeks, not 5 weeks, especially going into that fight. I want him to beat Kongo up. I want him to demolish him. I want to wipe the floor with Kongo. So I want him to be in a good camp. At least at the same capacity in the levels of preparation that he had before the show. He was in a fantastic shape.
You mentioned in August, either on the 3rd show or on the Whyte Povetkin undercard. Let's say, for argument's sake, Eddie Hearn says you can't go on the 3rd show at the start of August, and Dillian Whyte says you can't box on the Whyte Povetkin undercard. Then what?
Yeah. I don't think Eddie Hearn will say that you can't go on the 3rd show. You know why? Can I be completely honest? At the moment, as we speak, Eddie has only two 50-50 fights, I reckon. One of them is Dillian Whyte. Another one is Kongo Clay. Genuine 50-50 fights that people are talking about, correct? Why would you pull out? Why would you want to take the fight? Why would you don't reschedule it? Just 2 weeks. We're talking 2 weeks, especially Ed got 3 shows on the trot. Say if it's 18th or 25th. So say it's 18th. So the 18th, 25th, what's next? First? Yeah? So the earliest Luth can step through the ropes, it's 1st of August. The earliest, but I don't want it. I want it to be on the 8th. But I heard that Ed might be out on the 25th, which makes it perfect. 8th of August, provisionally, is the date, if that's the date, because no one is certain about the dates. We're just speculating. But the 3rd show of this, on the back of the Garden Trilogy, the Fight Camp, is the show where I'm proposing Luther Clay against Chris Kongo. Will it be a main event? I don't know. But is it strong enough to be a main event? Rob, tell me.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
There you go. Ed, you just got yourself a main event on that show.
I think part of the reason that we're doing this interview and part of the reason that the social media, I don't want to say backlash, but the social media interest was there last night, as it has been since the announcement of this fight, is that it is such a good fight. Chris Kongo and Luther Clay are so well matched. But as I say, for argument's sake, if it doesn't happen in August, if for whatever reason, however unlikely, Eddie says that it can't go on that show and Dillian says it can't go on Whyte Povetkin, then what?
Right.
However unlikely it may seem.
Okay, I am a boxing manager, correct, promoter, matchmaker. I know this sport on DNA level. I know how it ticks, how it breathes. Would I jeopardize my own work for 3 years, building the guy up? I know how proud he is. He could be a victim of his own pride because he's a proud Zulu warrior, that guy. And he would go and fight tomorrow. But my responsibility as the leader of the camp, I'd say, apart from he's a leader of our camp, but outside of ring, my responsibility is to give him as big of a chance as possible, to give him the best preparation, to give him enough time also to shred the weight, to become, to be as ready as he can possibly be for that, probably the biggest fight of his career, definitely in terms of exposure and media and so on and so forth. So, if for whatever reason he can't fight in August, and the only option is to fight Kongo on the 25th of July, on the 18th of July, the fight is off. The fight is off. But I'm giving a very valid, very reasonable option to everyone. Second week of August, we're on. We're on. Let's go. Let's go.
You're not somebody who, well, having known you for quite a while now, you don't strike me as somebody who pays an awful lot of attention to, not that I've seen you subjected to that much criticism, but you don't strike me as the type of person to be very sensitive. You have a very thick skin, as a lot of people do have to have in boxing. If this fight doesn't happen in August, and you're saying the fight is off if it happens in July, do you expect and do you accept that fans are not going to be happy and they're going to point the finger in your direction?
Never, because I just explained myself so clearly. Although I have heavy Russian accent and my grammar is not up to scratch, I think I was clear enough to explain my position, and fans would love this position because they're boxing fans, because they understand how boxing ticks. Apart from those casuals who wants to make fights between Cal Yafai and Anthony Joshua, yeah, there are people like that. All normal people and boxing connoisseurs and hardcore of this sport all understand exactly, precisely what I'm talking about. So they would say, "Ow, you're absolutely right. The fight is there. The second week of August. Let's go." No one running away. It's only 2 weeks. We don't even know when it's starting. What if Ed's camp will start in August? Imagine, August the 1st. Then we're pretty much there. Then we could go on the second show. Do you know what I mean? Because I know Matchroom has lots to overcome. I'm sure there's a local council, the roads, this and that, the legislation, connectivity, all sorts of stuff, massive logistics. There's not much time left. So anything could happen. Do you agree?
Well, I mean, I'm not privy to the to what's actually going on at Fight Camp. I can only make my judgments from the outside looking in, so to speak. But yeah, I mean, there are significant government guidelines, and we don't actually have a start date for it to come back.
But Chris Kongo wants to pull out of this fight. That's the beauty of this, Rob. He couldn't believe his luck because yesterday when they went back and forth on Instagram, apparently, Chris saying, oh, no, but you said 25th champ. You said 25th champ. You said this is the first show. Oh, he loved it. He thought, oh, please, God, please give me the opportunity. I don't want to fight that little South African dog who can eat my Adam apple. I knew that straight away when I saw it. So listen to me, my friend from South London. I like you. Let's go. 8th of August. Let's go. We're ready. I've got the date for you. If it's 8th of August or 2nd week of August, we're ready. From 2nd week of August onwards, we're on.
I mean, I know Chris fairly well. I've known Chris for a while. In my opinion, I don't see Chris being reluctant or scared to take any fight, particularly considering his period of time out of the ring. Final question kind of really on this whole scenario is, could this in a weird way make the fight more interesting, bigger?
Maybe, but I tell you why. But I know you know Chris very well, but I'm just going to add something. I text Chris privately because I like the guy. We communicate. I said, Chrissy, go for Eddie. Request that to be on Dillian's undercard. I text Dillian. I said, deal, let's do it 2nd week of August. So I'm sending them the option. Doesn't it remind you the stories that Eddie says about his communication with Al Heyman? Like he's being all reasonable and nice, but people don't reply. And that team fires back saying he's full of shit. Do you know what I mean? So I kind of know how it feels, but God's honest truth, Allah is the witness, as I say. I've been sending the messages. I said, guys, let's make it happen in August. Do you know what I'm saying? And what did I get back? Cowards. Do you know why? Not enough intellectual capacity to compete with this outfit. Simple as that. They know they've been trapped. You know what I'm saying? Because ideally, Dillian would like for Chris to have some other fight on Eddie's big platform and say that Luther Clay and Siesta Boxing pulled out and they were cowards, therefore we've got the substitution. This is ideal scenario, guys. You don't have that option because I just written that off. I just wrote that off. There's not an option. You fighting Luther Clay 2nd week of August. That's it. It's done.
Can you understand the frustrations from Dillian Whyte and Chris Kongo?
Yeah, I understand frustration from Dillian Whyte and Chris Kongo for 2 years now. He never had any fights. Of course I understand. But listen, the guy who's been waiting for 2 years surely can wait for 2 weeks. Am I right? There you go. There you go. Don't tell me suddenly he's patient. Listen, Chris, the camps haven't even started yet. We don't even know. We can't even spar. The British, as far as I'm concerned, at the moment, the boxing is not even allowed. Do you know what I'm saying? So why are you talking? Just because you've been punching the bags in the garage or the basement in South London, it doesn't mean that you're ready. Trust me, you're not ready. Get yourself in shape, get prepared, get this best nutrition, the best physical conditioning, and everything the best you can get before you come to that ring, trust me. Otherwise, you're going to get found out pretty quickly. That's why I don't want the same thing to happen to my fighter, and I'm taking it very seriously. Hence, we need more time. Very normal request. We ain't running anywhere. We're ready to fight 2nd week of August, and all the fans who are hearing me now will be behind me because they fully understand the way this game works. Simple as that. Simple as that. Huh?
Okay, I think we're about there, Al. I think that probably clears up. Well, certainly you've addressed it. Whether it clears it up or not, we'll probably see after the interview goes out. Thanks as always for speaking to Boxing Social. Hopefully that has cleared up some things.
Rob, sorry, apologize. Could you just put that the fight is on Siesta says the fight is on, because I don't. Some people are gonna say, "Oh, look at that wanker glasses they did." Like Michael McDonald crossbreed with what's his name, Kenny Rogers. Fuck off. You know what I mean? So, please put something so people know, guys. The fight is on. We ain't running anyways. Anybody running at the moment behind the scenes is Chris Kongo's crew. Chris, I love you, and I know you'll be at that ring. Don't let me down, brother. Don't let me down.
Okay, always a pleasure, Al. Thanks very much for speaking to Boxing Social, and I will catch up with you soon.